Madam Speaker, my question is to the Minister for Corporate and Digital Development. Minister, all Territorians deserve to feel safe in their workplace, free from threats, intimidation and standover tactics. As members of the Legislative Assembly, we're expected to uphold the highest standards of workplace behaviour and respect for the Parliament and its leadership role in the Northern Territory. Minister, how is your experience in the Northern Territory Parliament and the experience of your colleagues aligned with these expectations? And can you please highlight any failures to meet these standards of which you are aware?
Minister for Corporate and Digital Development.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the member for Goyder for his question. Feeling safe in the workplace is a fundamental right of every single working man and woman, regardless of their role. Absolutely. I remember a very distinct failure to uphold these standards, Madam Speaker, and it was one that I myself was a victim of. Upon exiting Parliament House following parliamentary sittings and an evening back in 2020, I came across an individual who verbally abused and sought to intimidate me regarding comments that I'd made in this Parliament. Vicious and threatening comments, Madam Speaker. I was a new member of this Parliament at the time, and the experience shook me. It was confronting, and I'm sure many people in this chamber would agree that they would feel the same way under those situations. It should come as no surprise to anyone that the verbal abuser was a Labor advisor to the then Attorney-General Selena Uibo, who is now the Opposition Leader, an advisor who is also now the member for Daly and Deputy Opposition Leader. I wish I could agree with the Leader of the Opposition, who back in 2020 said it was out of character for the now member for Daly, but I would not be speaking honestly, Madam Speaker.
Take your seat, Minister. Leader of the Opposition, what's your point of order?
Standing Order 109, Part 5, a critical question around the character or conduct, and I ask you to rule on that, Madam Speaker, as the critical question, critical of the character or conduct of persons, may be asked in writing.
I'll just might get. Look, as you were speaking, Minister, I was conscious that this was treading on a very sensitive area. The standing order that the Leader of the Opposition has referred to, questions may not be asked which reflect on or are critical of the character or conduct of those persons whose conduct may be challenged only on a substantive motion, and questions critical of the character or conduct of other persons must be asked in writing. Look, can I ask you to not proceed any further with your discussion around this point?
Madam Speaker.
The conduct of the member for Daly. It allegedly happened before he became a member. I think we just need to be just a little bit careful of how we proceed in this space.
Absolutely respect your ruling, Madam Speaker, and it's interesting that the Opposition Leader doesn't want to speak about integrity. But let me refer to the Leader of the Opposition's adjournment speech from the 13th of February, a speech in which she highlighted the disgusting arrogance and lack of honesty and poor behaviour on display by CLP members, Madam Speaker. Those were words that the Opposition Leader spoke in this chamber, along with accusations of pure nastiness. Then there's the Leader of the Opposition's reference during the same speech in this Parliament, saying the standard you walk by is the standard you accept. So where along the way, Opposition Leader, would you say that your standards have changed? I would say that they're very much the same as they were back in 2020.
Take your seat, Minister. What's your point of order, Leader of the Opposition?
Member for Breitling to direct his comments through the chair. He's reflecting on the chair in his commentary as he fires up on his answer.
Take your seat. I don't think that's a point of order. Minister, continue.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I would say they're very much the same as they were back in 2020. Madam Speaker, when the then when the opposition leader accepted and then rewarded poor behaviour and pure nastiness. The opposition leader also said she felt unsafe in this workplace.
Minister, take your seat. Point of order.
109 Part 2, Section D, imputations by the member for Breitling in his manner of talking through his answer.
Look, there's no point of order there. There's no imputation there. Please continue.
During a speech in this parliament, Madam Speaker, the opposition leader also said she felt unsafe in her workplace. Just imagine, Madam Speaker, having to come into work after being verbally abused and intimidated after dark as a very new member of parliament and not knowing if it's going to happen again. How is that for feeling unsafe in your own workplace? The opposition have been slamming us about integrity, Madam Speaker, yet I have not experienced integrity from the opposition since I first entered this parliament in 2020. Accusing us of being nasty and making us feel unsafe? There is more integrity in the Chief Minister's pinky finger than in both the opposition leader and her deputy, Madam Speaker.